It's the third week of Princess and the Scrivener, which means we're doing a video together! What are we going to talk about today?
Since we're both creative writers, we thought we would answer some questions about our process. Interesting to reminisce on.
Yeah.
Seeing as that's how we met. We met in a creative writing class.
Yeah.
Where do your characters come from?
When I first started writing, a lot of them were based on like different parts of myself. Some of my characters come more from having an idea of a person or just an idea of one specific aspect of a person, and then I just kind of go from there.
I think that as a writer, I try to just sort of think about the aspects of myself that I don't act on. I think writing is all about, imagining the possibilities of a certain situation or a certain person, and then applying that in your writing.
I used to write about my friends, and I would like explicitly put them into my stories, and then I would just forget about the stories. Like, I don't know if that had anything to do with the people that they were based on, or if it just had to do with the fact that the stories just weren't interesting enough on their own.
I mean, sometimes characters just show up, they won't let me go. We have a habit of putting our writing teacher in our story.
Yeah.
He's like an Easter egg. He's always a guy with like a pointy head and glasses.
Yeah, a giant watch.
And whenever we're workshopping... A giant watch?
I don't know, maybe I just came up with that on my own. For our first class, I wrote a story about a guy had a brief affair with a woman in New York. She goes off to get married and he's like, I have to go stop this wedding, and then when he gets to the wedding, it's already like stopped, like she doesn't get married. She's just like, I can't do this.
It's
so,
weird
like,
because you haven't written anything in that sort of vein since.
Yeah, probably because our professor told me that my main character was a little bitch. I was a much younger, like much less experienced writer, and like I was also trying to write from the perspective of a guy, and I don't know that many guys to have written the perspective.
I definitely ran into that problem as well. I wrote about these two high school boys who sort of fall in love with each other, and I based it off of a short film. It wasn't fantastic. Like, I knew I wanted to write my own version of the story in the short film that I saw. Borrowing is one of the best ways that you can grow as a writer, just to know what you like to write and how you like to write and whatnot. It's not always bad.
I would say I didn't try to write from the male perspective after that, but I did.
Yeah, you did, as Martin. Martin,
Yeah.
The very sad and forlorn guy in the train story.
Pretty much all of my main male characters are sad and forlorn and tall, dark, and mysterious.
Which is funny because you're like really short.
Has nothing to do with it.
What are you currently researching?
For my latest project, I actually went to Key West to do my research. No, I actually went to Key West.
She's in love with Ernest Hemingway.
I love Ernest Hemingway. My mom and I finally got to go to Key West, and when I was there, I was like, well, this place is like basically the stuff of legends. At least it felt like it, and everything was just so different. And so I got back home and I was like, let's just turn this into fiction.
I just finished writing a story about a little girl born in Memphis and whose parents are dead, so she's being raised by her granddaddy. She sort of grows up with all of this like very bluesy influence in her life just because her granddaddy's a blues singer and he plays the guitar. I wanted to write about something in the past. I don't know why. It was just fun to do, so I set it in the early 80s. So I was doing a lot of research about the 1980s fashion and culture, exploration of like the early blues movements, blues in Memphis and Chicago specifically. I learned about some really cool like blues women artists. If you guys have any other questions about writing or anything you want us to talk about,
You can tweet us, you can leave comments.
tune in next Wednesday. Your eyelashes are really big.
Is it a good thing?
Yeah, they're nice.
I'm not even wearing mascara.